the honor to introduce our keynote speaker, our Congressman Don Manzullo. Don was first elected in 1992 to represent the 16th Congressional District. He does serve on the Foreign Affairs Committee, the Global Environment Committee, and the Financial Services Committee. He has supported legislation to increase support services for local veterans and has received the National Patriot Legislator Award from the Association for Service-Disabled Veterans. In 2001, Congressman Manzullo was named Legislator of the Year by the National Vietnam and Gulf War Veterans Coalition for his efforts to pass a law to assist veterans who are suffering from the Gulf War syndrome. Congressman Manzullo and his wife Frida reside in R-Egan, and they have 3 children. Please join me in giving a very warm Marengo welcome to Congressman Manzullo.
Thank you very much. Several years ago, Frida, 3 kids, and I ended up being in Washington, D.C. on Veterans Day. So we decided to go to the Vietnam Wall. Getting there early, expecting thousands of people, especially school children, to be bussed in at that tremendous event. Less than 200 were there. I turned to my wife and I said, "Where are the children? Where are the people who are supposed to remind the children of the importance of service in America?" Children are here in Marengo because the people of Marengo know the importance of bringing together the veterans and the children. And let's give a great big hand for the children and the veterans in Marengo. I want to have a special thanks to Principal Scott Shepard for helping put together this celebration. I've had the pleasure of representing this congressional district since being elected in 1993. Our congressional district runs from the Fox River all the way over to the Mississippi. 730,000 people, the home of 60,000 veterans. To understand the true meaning of Veterans Day, we need to know the stories of the brave men and women who risked their lives to protect our families and freedoms in America. I've heard many of these stories, and as a member of Congress, I've had the great honor of being able to help secure the medals of those who never knew they had medals found, or simply couldn't find them or had been forgotten by the service. One of those heroes is Harold Myers of All Your Heart. I met Harold during the Veterans Day program at Alden Hebrew High School several years ago. I was invited to speak during the ceremony and to give the coveted Bronze Star World War II veteran who never received it. Little did the students know their hero who received the medal was their school champ. I can still see the looks on the kids' faces as I called Harold Myers to the podium, dressed in his old tan combat uniform, and read off the description that warranted this vaunted medal as Myers stood stoically saluting at attention. And this is what I read. Corporal Harold Myers of Alden served as a paraglider in the Army Airborne Division. He participated in the Sicilian, Italian, Normandy, and Rhineland campaigns of World War II. He was wounded in the Battle of Bulge and received the Purple Heart. On June 14, 1944, he shot down an attacking Spitfire fighter plane captured, piloted by a German officer while it strafed an American convoy. His actions saved the lives of many soldiers in the area, and for this heroic act, he earned the Bronze Star. Another hero is Thomas D. Silvestro of Algonquin. Very humble man. 77-year-old Thomas contacted our office in 2001 to request some medals he never received for his service in World War II. Thomas contacted us because his grandson said, "I think you're entitled to some medals." 11 medals. 11 medals he had earned, and he never knew it. Including the Bronze Star, 3 campaign medals for his service in Europe, Africa, and Middle East. 3 theaters as a medic. The Bronze Star citation read, Thomas D. Silvestro of Algonquin volunteered for the war in March 1943. The 88th Infantry Division served in Africa. Then he went to Rome, where he served as a medic who aided wounded soldiers in the field. He saved many American lives during his service for our country. And I asked him, I said, "What did you do?" He said, "Well," he said, "as a medic, it was my job to take care of the men and women wounded on the battlefield." And we inquired further several times under intense gunfire. He crawled on his belly and pulled him on his back to save him. Another hero was Henry Saavedra of Lena, Illinois, near Freeport. I met Henry in 2004 at the opening celebration of the new VA clinic in Freeport, which is similar to the VA clinic that we opened in the city of McKinley. Henry was an Army specialist in Vietnam. He risked his life to help his fellow soldiers during an ambush in 1969. And here's where I read as being awarded Henry the Bronze Star. On August 2nd, 1969, while serving as the Jeep driver for his lieutenant in Vietnam, Specialist Saavedra came upon an ambush where several U.S. soldiers were pinned down by the Viet Cong. Without hesitation, he drove his Jeep to the scene to engage the enemy and extract the wounded. While his Jeep was hit by enemy fire, Specialist Saavedra, without regard for his own safety, continued to expose himself to heavy enemy rifle and automatic weapons fire. First to provide suppressing cover fire, and then to pull the wounded to safety. For this exemplary performance of duty, he was awarded the Bronze Star. These are just a few of the stories, the heroism that surround our brave American veterans. The stories are everywhere. Many are with our veterans in this room today. More are with our brave soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan. They are the stories of the American soldier, the Marine, the Airman, the sailor. They liberated continents, spread democracy, defended us from brutal enemies. This spring, I was on an engagement studying the extent of Al-Qaeda terrorism in Northern Africa. I had the opportunity to visit the magnificent American cemetery in Tunis, Tunisia. Over 4,000 crosses and stars of David. 4 sets of brothers buried side by side. The silence of that moment and the magnificence of the day simply drive home the price that we pay for freedom in this country. A similar opportunity to be in Flanders Field several years ago. And too many trips to Arlington National Cemetery. But young people, it's these cemeteries that reflect the extent of the sacrifices. 600,000 alone during World War II. They are our true heroes. Left behind their children, their husbands and wives, their families and friends, their jobs, to go to countries they had never heard of, to risk their lives to protect our families and our freedoms. They do it because they're Americans. This is what they're best at doing. They do it because they love their country. On this Veterans Day, we thank all of you. And God bless you.